right. How's it going, everybody? Thanks for joining me live here. I'm super excited to be diving into this again after last week's kind of issues with my audio not working correctly. And I don't know, I played around with a bunch of stuff. So hopefully everything's working well. I tested even more. So I'm thinking this is going to be really good. So what I'm going to be doing today, I have already started from last week's episode with like building a new remix of my single Doing It Without You, because we're coming up on the 1 year anniversary of this single being released. And so over the last few months, I've been learning Logic Pro, and I've been talking about this in my videos on my YouTube channel and on my Patreon about just wanting to like get better with learning how to produce my own music. So then I can come up with demos easier. When I come to the studio, it's going to be a little faster because I kind of know more about like what I want and how to talk about it. So it's kind of my goals. And then also maybe just starting to do everything all on my own. I don't know. That's kind of a long-term goal of being a producer for myself and not having to pay for that kind of service or rely on friends to help me out, So that's kind of what I'm working on. So today we are just going to be expanding a little bit of what I did last week. And so we'll take a little listen to what I've got so far and then kind of figure out like arrangement, what I want to do with this. And then we're just figuring it all out live. So thanks for joining me. Here we go. So this is kind of where we started or ended last week with my Logic Pro pulled up here. So I got a like synth together. I got a basic bass line, and then I did a drum set. And so below you can see all of my vocal stems and my takes here. I just took everything from the original single Doing It Without You and just took out all the instruments and did the flex time because it was a slower tempo, and I kind of previewed that before. And if you haven't heard Doing It Without You, it's available on all streaming platforms. You can check it out and kind of hear the differences and let me know in the comments what you think is kind of different, better, and we're just kind of learning together. So here's kind of what it sounds like after last week with everything here. So this is just going to be this little section right here.
When I met you, even though it was taboo, you came out of the blue. I thought that you could be true. You quickly changed. How do you move in games that you played? You lied and it's ruined. We can't.
And then, of course, it goes into the chorus there with all the different harmonies. And I am a sucker for harmony, so I've got a lot of layers on here, and I did a lot of takes because I love it. Being a choir boy myself, harmonies are like my favorite thing. So playing around with this a little bit, that's pretty up there, I think, for an intro. I think the drums are going a little harder than they need to be. That's probably going to be a better full drum set more in the chorus side of things after listening to this a little bit. So that's what I want to do now is kind of like set up my project a little bit better, put in where the different sections are. So the intro, the verse one, the pre-chorus, chorus, all of that. So then it's a little easier when we're copying and pasting some of this stuff to figure out the arrangement a little bit better. So let's kind of work on that. And I've got my MIDI keyboard in front of me, but I don't necessarily need that. Oh, and if you haven't seen my videos on this, I'm using the Innovation Launch Key Mach 4 49 key MIDI keyboard. It's my first keyboard of, I've been looking for years for a really good MIDI keyboard, and I fell in love with this option. It's got really cool things that I'm learning that come free included with it. And so I'm learning how to do like more music theory things because it's been a long time since I took music theory. I've been reading up and like reading books on music theory again, but I really know nothing about drums or instruments and things like that. And so this has 16 drum pads on it, and one of the free softwares on it, and I'm not sponsored by them, by the way, it's just me kind of talking through this, but one of the really cool features that they have is they have a system that like teaches you how to use the drum pads and like learn how to do drums, and it's all taking like different samples of little songs that they have, and it's super user friendly. It's also got one for keys, and it has something else on there, but I can't remember what it was. There's 3 different classes that you can take, and it goes so far for free. But anyway, enough about that. So let's kind of take a look at this. So at the very beginning, I know I've got like this is an intro, and then the verse starts like right here. So if we do at the top, I think if I drop this down, oh, it's still here. I've got that intro, verse, chorus, bridge, outro, outro. I don't know why I have two outros on there. That should be chorus again, really, but we can play with that a little later. So for this, I liked where everything kind of like came together here, but it's so fully developed now that I, for like a hard drum sound, I think that's going to be better as a chorus. And then maybe we can start going backwards and like making this a little bit more basic and then expanding it again. That's kind of my thought theories. If you know any better, if you're a producer yourself, definitely let me know in the chat. I'm learning live here with everyone, so feeling raw and vulnerable, and it's scary. So thanks for being on it with me. So I think I can just glide this over. Yeah, there we go. So if we did the full chorus with that, but the chorus starts a little more with those drums. So maybe we just want the drums coming over. And those probably are going to be messed up. I'm just going to get rid of them for now. And then the first thing that I'm really hearing that I don't think needs to really be in there is the shaker at the beginning here. So that's got, it's a little shorter. Here, let's play it again so then you can kind of hear where we're at.
It was great when I met you, even though it was taboo. You came out of the blue. I thought that you could be true.
So I think that that's
you
too much.
Changed. After you moved in, the games that you played, you lied and it's ruined. We can't
I like those chords coming back in though. So if we take this, I think if I split that, is that right? Split those, bring these over here so everything's together again. And is there like a repeat? I don't think I did because it ended at that section. So I'll need to come into each of these and expand them a little bit so they go the full chorus here.
That you could be true. You quickly changed. How do you move in?
Maybe
games that you played. You lied and it's ruined. We can't.
I don't know if that's gonna work. I thought maybe it could just pop right over. But the feel's a little different, isn't it? When that chorus kind of hits. Let's listen to it all together and see if it still goes through nicely. Let's get rid of you. Let's mute you guys for now. Ooh, but I don't want to mute those guys. No, not sure why that's not working. Is it because I copied it over? I just mute there. There we go. Learning in real time. Learning in real time.
I thought that you could be true. You quickly changed. How do you move in? The games that you played. You lied and it's ruined. We can't stay this way.
I like all those harmonies that I have there. I wonder if maybe pulsing those notes using the same thing might work better. I don't know. Let's just play around with it and see kind of what happens, right? We're not going to be spending too much time today playing with everything, just still learning and growing and figuring out what works, what doesn't work anymore. And let's unmute. Actually, let's keep these guys muted, unmute you. Okay, so the chords. Okay. Maybe if we do, what is it? Command A, get rid of all these guys. And then, so the first note to the chorus. I think that's pretty close. Let's take a listen.
It's over, I'm fine, I'm okay. No
chip on my shoulder. I like that. So right at the beginning, we are hitting this note. And is it control? Never remember where my pencil is. There it is. Bum. Dum. Let's go all the way across. And shift to come back. There's a command again. Bum. Bum. So if we do. That's actually my starting note there. Can't. And that needs to go up a couple. And then back down to here. Okay, let's hear what that sounds like.
We can't stay this way.
So it's a little faster than what I have on here.
We
shorten all these guys down. And move you over. We can't. And then we might hold this note out, possibly. So let's come back here. Let's just circle this area or repeat this little section here. Might make it easier on me.
We can't. We can't. We can't. We can't stay.
And undo that because I don't want to mess that up, but we want to move this over here. And what I'm doing now, if you are joining live or you're just checking this out, is I have my current single Doing It Without You, and it's coming up on a year since I released that in June. And so I thought, since I've been learning Logic Pro, that I would test some of my skills with doing a remix of this song live, just kind of learning in real time. So if you're just joining me now, that's kind of what we're doing now. I've already set up like a good part for the verse leading up into the chorus, and I'm figuring out kind of like how to change the chorus a little bit because the copy and pasting I did earlier, it didn't quite translate. So we're plunking around if you're just joining us now.
We can't stay this way.
So that needs to be moved over a little bit more.
We can't stay this way. Now
maybe we hold that note out. Let's turn it up just a bit so we can hear a little bit more.
We can't stay this way. We can't.
So that note actually needs to come down. That's why it didn't quite work.
We can't stay this way. Now that it's over,
and maybe I can do something cool with that later on, but just kind of getting it laid down. I think is the most important for me at this moment. And then we can restart that for the second part.
We can't stay this way. Now that it's over, I'm fine, I'm okay.
It's not quite lined up in that second half here. Let's listen again.
We can't stay this way. Now that it's over, I'm fine.
Just slightly off his notes. Bring it over a titch here.
We can't stay this way. Now that it's over,
Those need to be moved over a little bit. And maybe it's this. I'm fine.
We can't stay this way. Now that it's over, I'm fine. We can't stay, so we can't over, I'm fine, I'm okay.
Okay, we kind of got those bass notes in. So then let's just do a triad and kind of hear what we've got maybe. Let's do there. This is the first note. This would be C and E that we would be hitting. C, and then let's bring this guy up to E. So we get our triad, and maybe we're just changing how that sounds as a chord.
We can't.
Oop. Something's not right there, is it?
We
No. So what does that need to be? I was gonna play it. That might be easier because this is not quite working for me. So let's. I want to get all of these in here. Maybe we'll just record it because that might be faster. And kind of plunking around since I know what the notes are. Okay. Chord U.
and it's ruined. We can't stay there.
Messed up already.
And it's ruined. We can't stay this way. Now that it's over.
Ah, no. Let's just delete the whole section here. Delete. There. Okay.
And it's ruined. We can't stay this way. Now that it's over, I'm fine. I'm okay. No chip on my shoulder.
All right. So now that I played those notes, let's take a listen to what those sound like. I always forget shift to help us here, and then maybe we can make these chords.
We can't stay this way. Now that it's over, I'm fine.
Let's quantize these a bit. Quantize.
We can't stay this.
It went the wrong way. So undo, and let's just bring individual notes over.
This way. Now that it's over, I'm fine. I'm okay. No chip on my shoulder.
Interesting, interesting, interesting. I don't know if it necessarily works. Maybe it's a different synth. I'm not sure. So, I'm gonna do fifths, lower fifth. Ooh, that could be cool, actually. The lower fifth of those. Let's test that. Let's see, right? So instead of going up, we're going to go down to where these fifths are. So there's a fifth right here, and then this would be the other lower fifth. And I've got one up here, right? So that one would be C, so then we want the G down here. Because that seemed to sound a little better, didn't it? Oh, that's the F. Oh, okay, so now what I'm seeing, this G may be a good pedal tone since it's carrying most of this through. Ooh, okay, let's take a listen here. I want to turn that back on.
We can't stay this way. Now that it's over,
Let's just do a nice pedal tone then. Ba, bum, bum.
We can't stay this way. Now that it's over, I'm fine. I'm okay. No chip on my shoulder.
Like that. I think we had a little break in the other one.
We can't.
But that doesn't sound as good. Let's get rid of you.
We can't.
Maybe it just needs to be a hard thing.
We can't stay this way. Now that it's over, I'm fine. I'm okay. No chip on my shoulder. We
I'm just playing with my drum pads here because it's got on my MIDI keyboard, I've got a really cool thing called scale and chord mapping. So the scale, of course, that's going to match my my Logic Pro. It's a F major key that I'm in, and then chord mapping on my drum pads here, it lays out the chords that would be in the key of F major. So that's what I'm plunking on right now, as you can hear, just to see if something comes through. So I'm just not liking this yet. So I'm going to loop the chorus and see if something comes up that way.
We can't stay this way. Now that it's over, I'm fine. I'm okay. No chip on my shoulder. We can't stay this way. Now that it's over, I'm fine. I'm okay.
What if we modulate?
Chip on my shoulder. We can't stay this way. Now that it's over, I'm fine. I'm okay. No chip on my shoulder. We can't stay this way. Now that it's over, I'm fine, I'm okay. No chip on my...
So if we're doing, which is F major score, I think it was doing higher of it, like. I kind of like that. Maybe we should make it wider. Ooh, that's good. You hear it though? It's like, and I want like a higher. Da. So it just needs that higher C, doesn't it? So maybe it's the other octave. Oh. It's kind of got the like Goofy movie, doesn't it? With this synth. So maybe that's what we'll do. But it's with a higher C than what's in this chord. So let's do a quick run through of that. Lay that down. I can add the high C top line. That's not hard to do at all. So let's delete you. Let's come back here. We're doing. It's cool.
And it's ruined. We can't stay this way. Now that it's over, I'm fine, I'm okay. No chip on my shoulder.
I don't know how to end that part, but that might be okay. Let's do everything in this region. Oop, that's not what I want. Oh. Do I have to be down here? Aha. And then let's do it to the 16th note, probably, huh? The quantize. No. Whole note? Okay.
We can't stay this way.
Okay, so the high C's up there. Let's get rid of those. And let's actually make you a little bit bigger so we can see more of this keyboard and what we're working with. So you can see it's got really wide chords going through it. We got a few different octaves that are allowing us to get that really full sound. And eventually, maybe it'll be, I don't know if it'll be like an arpeggiated chord or if it's something like dun 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 dun, you know, like pulsing. I'm not quite sure yet.
We can't stay this way.
Dun, dun. I like that chord, but we just need to hit it twice. Ba-ba. And that comes right over here. Right?
We can't stay this way.
And then let's break those right there so we can get a double pulse.
We can't stay this way.
Yeah.
Now that it's over, I'm fine, I'm okay.
So I think we can copy and paste a little bit, right? Because I nailed that intro part, and then I was playing around with some of this end stuff that didn't end up working. Let's just get rid of it. And let's make you shorter, and then we can repeat it since it's the same thing. Let's just make sure I'm ending it at that same spot.
We can't stay this way now that it's over.
Yeah, let's hear. It may not quite fit where these are, just because we did increase the BPM. I think it was like 117 in the original track, and now we're at 130. So kind of give it that groovier dance remix.
We can't stay this way now that it's over.
Yeah, let's see. Let's just bring you right to 30. Why is this not working? There it is. Gotta just go a little lower. And we'll get rid of... Now we might actually want more of that. But now I can lower you, and we should be able to bring this over as just a repeatable thing, right? Yeah. All the way, maybe? Let's hear.
We can't stay this way now that it's over. I'm fine, I'm okay. No chip on my shoulder, we can't stay. We can't, I won't make it alone without you. I'll just walk away, 'cause I'm doing it without you.
I wonder if we cut that off a little bit there.
We can't without you. I'll just walk away, 'cause I'm we can't stay this way now that it's over. I'm fine, I'm okay. No chip on my shoulder. You said I won't make it alone without you. I'll just walk away, 'cause I'm doing it without you.
Probably like right there, isn't it? Cause I'm right there.
Walk away.
I think we're getting closer.
'Cause I'm doing it without you.
Okay. That kind of works a little bit better. I definitely need to change some of the dynamics on here. Maybe do like a swing a little bit, because it's of course like too perfect. So just highlighting all of those. Let's swing these just a bit here.
We can't stay this way.
And let's make these full notes. Might need to be doing this with all of these. Yep, I sure do. I sure do, Casey. Bum, bum. Then we have a big gap in between. Same with this guy.
We can't stay this way now that it's over.
Okay. And of course we can change the velocity. We can automate the velocity too, to have that be a little different.
Stay this way it's over, I'm fine, I'm okay. No chip on my shoulder, you said I won't make it alone without you. I'll just walk away, 'cause I'm doing it without you.
Okay. I think that's good enough for right there. So this probably doesn't work anymore, huh? The bass line that we need to adjust, that we can, I guess, just mirror that. Let's come down here to the bass line till at least that's highlighted. Oh, wait for my computer to update. I'm working on a MacBook Air M1 chip. It is definitely not powerful enough to be doing all of this stuff like quickly. So I do experience some spinning, the rainbow circle of death wheel. I don't know what you want to call it. But yes, it has been frustrating. I experience it when I'm editing videos as well. Well, then while we're kind of waiting for that to come through, let me just talk to you a little bit about what's going on and where we're going with the song. So if you're just joining me, thank you so much for checking this out. What I'm doing is my single Doing It Without You is coming up on its 1-year anniversary that it's been released. And over the past year, I've been learning how to do or work with Logic Pro. And I've got a MIDI keyboard. That's what I'm working on right now. You can't see it below. But that is how I'm playing these chords and putting it right into Logic Pro. And my goal is to kind of like test my knowledge with what I've learned, relearning music theory, and seeing if I can remix my song live. So thank you for joining me here. That's what we're working on now. It looks like we might be up and running again. So if I come down, I don't want to record you anymore, but just this guy. There we go. Okay. So coming back up, we need to redo this bass line here because it doesn't quite work. If we push play here,
We can't stay.
see, we've got a lot of dissonance. That should just be easy. So let's just delete you. Oop. We're going to delete. And we'll just record our own. Boom. Record. And it's... Okay.
And it's ruined. We can't stay this way. Now that it's over, I'm fine, I'm okay. No chip on my shoulder, you.
All right, that should be pretty good. I did a couple takes. I didn't need it because if we can just copy and paste this again, like what we did before. Let's bring this guy down. Look how fast I'm getting, you guys. And then we repeat it. Boom, up here, repeat you. And I think I did pretty well there. Yeah, that's hardly moved. Let's take a listen again. I'm just going to turn these down a little bit so we can hear this bass a little more.
We can't stay this way. Now that it's over, I'm fine, I'm okay. No chip on my shoulder, you said I won't make it alone without you. I'll just walk away, 'cause I'm doing it without you. We can't stay this way. Now that it's over, I'm fine, I'm okay.
So that note needs to go up.
We can't stay
Hmm.
We can't stay this way.
I think I might just be having a little dissonance in one of my vocal lines there. That's kind of giving us that grumbly, it doesn't quite work sound. So I'm going to keep this where it's supposed to be here. Let's just make it longer.
We can't stay this way. Now we can't stay this way. Now that it's over,
we can change that. Okay. So does the shaker work with it? It's here. And with the shaker, I could just, because it's really long and I don't need it to be this long, because I could just repeat it, which will make it easier to edit later, right? So let's do this. Bring you over, and then we can repeat and end it there with the rest of it.
We can't stay this way. Now that it's over.
It doesn't sound right.
We can't.
Oh, is it because of chord mapping?
We can't stay.
It feels like it was different in this other section. Huh. Let me listen to this again. Oh, we weren't having it because it was a little much for that part, wasn't it? Okay, let's take a little lesson with like fresh ears again.
When I met you, even though it was taboo, you came out of the blue. I thought that you could be true. You quickly changed after you moved in. The games that you played, you lied and it's ruined. We stay.
Sometimes, you guys. Okay, I like that. Let's bring you back in. The clapping I think is good. And we want that. One issue we have though is we've got to make this a little longer here. Because the shaker is just going too empty without kind of doing anything that's like meaningful. So we're going to do that, and then if it's repeated, there we go. I thought I did that correctly the first time. It doesn't look like it. With my system going a little slower, kind of makes it harder.
Stay this way. Now that it's over, I'm fine.
It sounds awful. It sounds terrible. Okay, why isn't it working? So let's get rid of one thing at a time, right? Mute that.
And it's ruined. We can't.
I don't think that's gonna work either.
Stay this way. Now that it's over, I'm fine. I'm okay. No chip on my shoulder. You said I won't make.
I don't know, you guys, but I don't like any of what is happening right now. So I think that that is probably a good time, because if I'm not like finding the creativity, I want to stop so then I can come back to it with fresh ears, fresh eyes, and see if there's something else that I can kind of think of. I like the direction of where we're going. Here, let me get rid of this so you can look at me. I like the direction of where things are going with the synth on there and the bass line. It's not quite what I want yet. And so I'll sit on it and think about it. But as this is up over the next however long week or so, let me know in the comments, what are you hearing? What are some tips? What are some tricks that I can do to like make this work? Or maybe it's something that I'm completely overlooking. And as I mentioned before, like I'm learning live here with you. So any feedback, anything that you guys have, if you're further along in your journey as a music creator and producer than I am, definitely let me know in the comments, because all of the help is definitely going to be useful for me. So thank you. Thank you so much for joining me. If you got to join me live here, so fun to have you on here. And if you're watching this recording, thank you for your love and support. If you like this kind of content, make sure that you're subscribed to my YouTube channel, because I do music creation, working on my podcast episodes for season 2, and some future reaction videos coming back as well. So definitely make sure that you are subscribed. And if you want to help further my music career and my production and help me as an independent artist, definitely check out my Patreon. It's only $3 a month, and all of that money goes right into getting more equipment, getting some education, and finding resources. So it all just directly goes right into my music here. So thank you so much for your continued support. Remember to be kind to others, and most importantly, be kind to yourself. All right, until the next time. Thanks.